I'd like to welcome those in the chamber this morning as well as those online to our August 1st, 2023 Board of Commissioners meeting. It's amazing it's already the 1st of August with us. So we'll start this meeting this morning with a Pledge of Allegiance given by Shelley Hallisey, the invocation by our own Commissioner Bolos, thought of the day, Commissioner Harvey. We'll go to that point.
Our Father in heaven, we come before thee at this time, grateful for the opportunity that we have to convene to do the business of the people of Weber County. We're grateful for the wonderful place in which we live. We're grateful for the freedoms that we enjoy. We're thankful for those who serve to protect those freedoms, and we ask thee to watch over them. We're grateful for our first responders and for their efforts in our behalf. Please watch over them and their families, and we're grateful for their service. We pray for the Spirit to guide us in the decisions that we make this day. We pray for thy blessings to be upon our employees and their families. We're thankful for all that they do to make this county operate and to serve those in our community. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Commissioners, I mentioned this earlier today in one of our meetings we had, but I want to compliment the people who were involved with Ogden Musical Theater. The Ogden Musical Theater Board, along with the staff at the Perry's Egyptian Theater and the Ogden Eccles Conference Center, have done an incredible job with the Music Man musical this year. That group set out to have Broadway quality entertainment in Ogden, and everybody always talks about that, but seeing is believing. The leads this year, Harold Hill and Marion the Librarian, their voices were as good as I've heard anywhere on either coast of this country. And they've done just a wonderful job. It's affordable. You know, any time I go to a play, whether it's in Salt Lake or if it's in LA or if it's in London or New York, wherever that privilege affords, those tickets are always at least $60 up to $200-300 depending on where you sit. You can buy the most expensive seat in the house is $28. You can buy most of the seats in that intimate 750 seat theater for $20. It's family friendly, it's safe, it's a good feel, it's great music. I had my 7-year-old granddaughter there with us on Friday night, and she just was almost mesmerized by what was going on, the color, thanks to the Dumpke Foundation and their donation to rehabilitate the whole theater and all the new lights. The seats were beautiful and comfortable, brand new. It's just, the whole experience was just out of the park. We're just so lucky to have that quality of production in our own little Weber County. People are coming from Salt Lake, Utah counties, Box Elder, Davis counties. They're coming from all over the Wasatch Front to see it, and I would encourage anyone who might hear this today or in the future to take the next 2 weeks. Certainly, I think the next production's on the 3rd of August, and it runs this whole week, and then it also runs the next week. And to go online to Ogden, or to just go type in Ogden Musical Theater, it's easy to navigate to, and you'll be able to purchase tickets very easily right online and attend that. It just is a great experience, and I'll likely go see it again. And there's a surprise at the end of the show that you won't hear in other theaters. It's that in and amongst itself is worth attending. When we talk about live feel-good experiences, and so that's my 2 cents on that for the thought of the day.
Great thought and great production. I think we were all there that night, and boy, it's amazing the talent that they've been able to bring into that theater. So I continue to be impressed with what they do over there. All right, with that, let's go to our next agenda item, which is public comments. Would be welcome to hear from anyone in the audience today in the chamber. and/or online that would like to come before the commission, we'd ask that you take no more than 3 minutes and relate those topics to the agenda item. So with that, anyone in the audience, in the chamber that would like to come forward, now's your time. Don't all rush the mic at the same time. Shelley, anyone online?
No, sir.
Okay, looks like we get off without any public comments today, so. We'll go to our consent items, commissioners. So that starts with consent items F. 1, request for approval to ratify warrants 8514 through 8605 and 477-839 through 478-041 and number 278 in the amount of $2,903,130.71 dated July 25th, 2023. 2, request for approval of warrants 8606 through 8644 and number 243004 through 478-225 in the amount of $1,591,493.77. 3, request for approval of a purchase orders in the amount of $1,403,141.88. 4, summary of warrants and purchase orders, which takes us to Mr. Ricky Hatch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We issued 19 purchase orders over the past 2 weeks for $1.4 million. 3/4 of that, or $1.1 million, is for the roads department for paving equipment and services. 9%, or $123,000, is for the jail to replace the boiler at the Kiesel facility. 6%, or $89,000, is for the health department to purchase a generator as well as vaccines. Well, I'll do the 2 warrant reports separately. The first one from 2 weeks ago, we issued 296 checks for $2.9 million. A fourth of that amount, $754,000, was for the transfer station, which was for disposal fees. 12%, or $259,000, is for the jail for inmate medical services. 10%, or $281,000, is for paramedic services and paramedic equipment maintenance. We had 2 items at 9% each, or $265,000. Sorry, that would be nice, wouldn't it? One was for the Weber Center remodel architectural services. The other is due to escrow releases for the Point subdivision, as well as the quarterly payment to Central Weber Sewer. And then we had 2 items at 7%, or about $215,000. One was the monthly contribution to our Weber Human Services, and the second one was housing payments on behalf of Weber Housing Authority. For the check run for this week, we issued 225 warrants for $1.6 million. 19% of that amount, or $311,000, were escrow releases for T.C. Gailey, Winston Park, and Sky Ranch subdivisions. 14%, or $222,000, was stormwater work. 11%, or $182,000, was for the jail to purchase food, medical services, and evidence room upgrades and utilities. 10%, or $166,000, to the county fair for fair-related services and entertainment. And then lastly, 7%, $108,000, for Homeland Security funds, was to purchase software and communication services, the annual maintenance contract for those.
Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hatch? Thank you very much. Questions for Ricky? Seeing none, let's move on with our consent items agenda, if that's all right. So we'll now go to consent items F5, request for approval of the minutes for the meeting held on July 18th, 2023. 6, request for approval of new business licenses. 7, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Christian Gunov Power Skating for the NHL rink dashboard sale to go toward the Mustangs Cross Ice dashboards. 8, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Weber State University for the Weber State University Alumni Locker Room rental agreement. 9, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Enola Chavez for the August 2023 match race to be held at the Golden Spike Event Center. 10, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and the Weber County Sheriff's Office, or Weber County Sheriff's Mounted Posse, for parking attendance at the 2023 Weber County Fair. 11, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Swinging Junior Drafts and Ranch to use draft horses during the rodeo and have it on display at the 2023 Weber County Fair. 12, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Richard Wilson to have a rodeo clown during the rodeo at the 2023 Weber County Fair. 13, request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and the photo camper to have the photo camper as a static display in order for fairgoers to take pictures free of charge during the 2023 Weber County Fair. We heard about that this morning, Commissioners. Looking forward to that. 14, request for approval of amendment to a subrecipient agreement by and between Weber County and Green Hills Estates Water and Sewer Improvement Districts. 15, request for approval to ratify contracts by and between the following for the Ogden Musical Theater's production of Music Man. And if it's all right with the Commissioners, I'm not going to read those. I'm going to refer everybody to the agenda, going from Catherine Washburn down to Creighton H. Trejo. Haven't counted the number, but there's a number on there dealing with the Music Man that was talked about earlier by Commissioner Harvey. That's our consent items, Commissioners. Questions, comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve consent items F1 through 15.
Second?
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Consent items are approved as read. 6, let's go to action items. Request for approval of a right-of-way contract by and between Weber County and Natalie Govash to purchase right-of-way along the 2550 South for corridor preservation. Ashley Tolman's not here, but Gary Myers is. So Gary?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, so I am here to present for your approval a contract on 2550 South. It is with Natalie Kovach for right-of-way acquisition and preservation for 2550. The amount is for $22,400. It is for basically property and damages incurred there and purchasing the property. So, any questions you might have for me?
Questions or comments for Mr. Myers?
I do have one.
Go ahead.
About how many parcels are we now, how many parcels were in total? How many parcels does this make that we have secured, and how many are left to go?
I kind of anticipated that question. I have a list for you. Ashley was not able to be here today, so I'm filling in for him. We are now about probably 90, well, maybe about 80% of the rest of the properties we need to finalize our right-of-way purchases for all of 2550. This would be the sections from 3500 west towards 47th is the whole corridor that we have been working on. We've focused our efforts primarily on the sections between 3500 and 4300 just to accommodate the anticipated traffic from the new high school coming in under construction right now. So yeah, we're about 80% of the way done, Commissioner Harvey. We up until now have been operating kind of on a willing seller, willing buyer process, and we're kind of moving into the next stage of the project where we revisit our conversations with some of the landowners out there.
I for one, Mr. Chair, want to thank Gary in your process. This is always a harder thing to do, but to keep those kids safe. This is all about keeping kids safe and making sure not just these right-of-ways are for cars, but also for pedestrian traffic. And it's, this is a reaction to the decision the school district made to put their school out there. And so I appreciate the work that you're having to go through. Not always easy, but it's the right thing to do.
And we get it. People are passionate about their property, and we're trying to be good stewards of the property in the best way possible.
Great. Anything else, Commissioner?
Thank you, sir.
So, Gary, just tell us what the end game here after we acquire those. We're about 20% shy.
Yep.
What is it? We're going to put more asphalt down, sidewalk. What's the overall plan here?
Great question, Commissioner Frower. Our intention here is to widen the road.
Okay.
We have, as we've communicated to folks out there, our intention is we want that road to look and feel very similar to what 3500 West feels like. Obviously, it won't be as wide. It's a much narrower corridor, and it doesn't see near the traffic that 3500 West does. But we like the rural feel of the road with plenty of room for vehicles, some shoulder, and that's pretty much what we're going to accomplish with this project. So
Great, good. Well, 2550 is one of the main corridors out there, so it's great that we're doing that.
very valuable. Yeah.
So, any other questions or comments, Commissioners? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the presentation made by Mr. Myers this morning regarding G1 on our agenda.
Thank you.
Second?
And all those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Gary, for your
Thanks, Commissioner.
presentation. Let's go to action item G2, which is request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and the State of Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation to award funding for the Weber County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Response Vehicle. And we have Mr. Slater that's with us this morning. Officer Slater, please come forward and make your presentation.
Good morning, Commissioners. So we were contacted by the Division of Outdoor Rec regarding one of their grant programs, and we had been looking for some equipment for the Monte Cristo area in the wintertime. We have some snowcats. They don't travel as fast for medicals and issues, so this winter we had several calls that we could use this apparatus. So as we got looking into the grant for just the tracks for our current side-by-side, it was suggested that we apply for a new side-by-side as well. So working through the Division of Outdoor Rec, they approved the grant at the end of May and working through the process to have this equipment. So this will allow us to get medical personnel up the trail to the recreators. It'll also have so it'll have tracks on the wintertime, and then it'll be just regular tires during the rest of the year. So it'll allow us to transport people from the back roads and the back country back out for help.
Both winter and summer.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Questions, Commissioners?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I know I've been
comments
sparse
are
with
allowed,
comments today. You know, Commissioners, it's been unfortunately, over the last 4 months that I've spent some extra time with Search and Rescue. And I am absolutely amazed at the work they do, not just on the clock, but off the clock all the time. And these pieces of equipment that they have make huge differences in the searching for and recovery of many of these people that have met with some accidents. And so it was a very eye-opening experience when to watch how they perform and the things they do and the way they really risk their own lives safely, but how they go about things and the math and the science and everything else. So anything we can use to advantage ourselves. I was particularly impressed with recently too. I wanted to comment on this, but the drone operations that you guys have used to apprehend some of the people. In fact, it's so good. You know, a lot of our services with the search and rescue are shared. We shared with other counties, and just how phenomenal what's been going on. And so, my compliments to you, Kylie, you especially, and
Thank you, Commissioner.
well, and just what you've done, and thank you so much. Those are my comments.
Thank you very much. Great comments. Commissioner Bowles, anything?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Commissioner Harvey, and I just want to add that it's always beneficial when you find grant money for those things, right? Because that equipment's expensive, so I appreciate you working on that and being able to secure that.
Thank you.
And I would just say, from the commission, we appreciate search and rescue. We know very well that Monte Cristo area gets a lot of love, both in summer and winter, and people unfortunately do have accidents, and it's great that we have responders that will get in there and try to solve the issue as quickly and as efficiently as possible. It sounds like this vehicle may aid in that process.
Absolutely.
So again, appreciate your efforts. Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
Okay, Commissioners, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the contract by and between Weber County and the State of Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation for the funding of Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Response Vehicle.
Thank you. And we have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Let's now go to our public hearing, which is H1. I'd first request a motion to adjourn the public meeting and reconvene a public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're now in a public hearing, which would be a public hearing to consider approval of an ordinance to vacate a 7-foot public utility easements along the rear lot of Lot 9, Willow Green Estate subdivision. Mr. Steve Burton, welcome.
Hello, Commissioners. Yeah, exciting stuff. We've got a request from Clint Martin. He owns Lot 9 of Willow Green Estates subdivision. I'm sharing, at least on the Zoom call, I'm sharing the location. It's in the Uinta Highlands area. It is off of Jennifer Drive near Skyline there. And the owner has requested to vacate a 7-foot public utility easement on the rear of their lot. As the county review agencies have looked at this, we've seen no issues with that. We don't believe there are any utilities in this location. So if it is vacated, it will allow the owner a little more space to build a shed or something along those lines. When it comes to vacating public easements like this, as you're well aware, we have to hold a public hearing. And if you, as the commission, find that good cause exists for the vacation, and if you feel that neither the public interest nor any person will be materially injured by this vacation, you can approve an ordinance that vacates that easement. As staff, we're recommending that you consider that ordinance, and we feel that good cause does exist, and we don't feel that anyone's going to be injured by the vacation of this easement. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Okay, so your recommendation from staff is to approve it?
Yeah.
And I assume you've checked with utilities, no issues with utility companies?
We are required to send out a notice to them. We have sent that and haven't heard anything back from them.
No. Okay. Questions, Commissioners?
This was former Rocky Mountain Power, I think, had the biggest concern, but that was years ago, and I've talked with Rocky Mountain specifically about that particular area, and they didn't have any, when I talked to Kirk Nigro on that, so.
Okay. It's always nice to hear that. Anything else? Steve, does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right, with that, let's go to public comments. Anyone in the audience or online that would like to make a comment regarding that consideration to approve the ordinance to vacate the 7-foot easement, please come forward. Or Shelley, anyone online? Anyone in the audience? The chamber would like to come forward? Going once, twice? All right. Boy, don't have a lot of, easy today.
Wow.
Okay, with that, I would look for a request to adjourn our public hearing that was fairly short and reconvene as a public meeting.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're now in a public meeting, and the action item before us is to request for approval of an ordinance to vacate a 7-foot public utility easement along the rear lot line of Lot 9 Willow Creek Estate subdivision, as we just heard from Mr. Steve Burton.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-24 is presented by Mr. Burton, or to
Okay,
say
we
Lot
ha-
9 of Willow Green Estates, the vacation of the public utility easement.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion.
Second.
And we have a second. Roll call vote.
Roll call vote for ordinance 2023-24. Commissioner Bolos?
Aye.
Commissioner Harvey?
Aye.
Chair Ford?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Vacation's approved. All right, Commissioner, let's go to Commissioner comments this morning. Since it's the first of the month, we do have a fun activity, which is the Stall of Fame for August. And our award winner for the month of August is Miss Camille Chamberlain from the Clerk Auditor's Office. And we've asked Ricky Hatch to speak about all the good things that Miss Chamberlain does for this county.
And if I were to relate all the good things, we might need to reschedule the meeting for a weekend or something
All
like
right,
that.
we have time.
Yeah. We are grateful to the commission. A couple of years ago, we were looking at the workload of our front counter and the tax relief and the many duties that they have at the front counter, and we decided to create a dedicated tax relief section of our office. As it's grown, it's become increasingly difficult to process tax relief applications as well as marriage licenses and passport applications. We've adopted best practices. We went and toured other offices from other counties, and having a dedicated tax relief section was one of those best practices that we identified. Now, Camille was already a specialist and a leader when it came to tax relief applications. She specialized in that. We deal with over 3,000 tax relief applications every year, and that's not so much year-round. It really is condensed into a shorter period of time. So it's a massive amount of documents and requests, and each one is important and needs to be addressed properly. Last year was our first year approaching with the separate tax relief section, and Camille managed to process each application and was able to complete the entire program long before the state-mandated deadlines. She also helped to design a new online tax relief application system that IT is implementing this year. And this is going to further improve our processes and be more accessible for our citizens. And she's done all this while still being willing to help out at our front counter with marriage licenses and passport questions. Camille, for years, has been a critical member of the Weber County team. Oh, I'll also mention she did all of this. It's not even a full-time position. She manages to get all that done. And so we're grateful for how she's a critical member of our team, and grateful that she's being recognized for the dedication and incredible work that she does. I realize the very last thing that she wants to do is come up here and be recognized, and that's part of why she deserves it. We just want to make her feel a little bit uncomfortable for the good work that she's done.
Great. Does that conclude your remarks, Ricky?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Very well deserved. It sounds like we have another outstanding Weber County employee that deserves recognition. Camille, we're going to put you on the spot, so it's time for you to come up this way. We know that every employee loves to come before the commission, so we'd like to give everybody that opportunity at some point in their life. But welcome, Camille. Congratulations. Anything you'd like to say?
No, I could have a few people that help me, so I couldn't do it without them. So I appreciate their help.
Great. Commissioners, I know we're not lack of words, so.
Camille, thank you for what you continue to do. You've been incredible since I've been down here. You've been a great leader and example. And I know it's hard to be up at the dais and that, but thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bolos.
Yeah, I always appreciate hearing the willingness of employees to jump in other places. So I love when you talked about her being at the front counter. And Camille, thank you for being willing to, sounds like, bounce around wherever you're needed, as well as specialize in what you do for your job. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just say, we understand how important some of these relief programs are to the members of the public, and there's a number out there, and it's very important that the public has a great access to apply for those rebates or differentials in their taxes based upon whatever program they be under. So it takes somebody that again, to understand all those programs and work with the public is very difficult, so we appreciate that work very much. And congratulations. We're going to present you with the Stall of Fame Shining Star. So if you'll stay right there, we're going to get a picture, and the commissioners will come forward to congratulate you. There you go. Congratulations.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. Okay, thank you.
And we appreciate those in the office, Ricky's office, to be here with us to make sure we, put Camille on the spot and embarrass her in front of the commission. But again, congratulations, Camille. Very well deserved. Enjoy that spot for at least the next 30 days. Okay, commissioners, that concludes our agenda for our regular schedule. I do have an item that we're going into closed session, so I'd look for a motion to go into this closed session to discuss pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We will be back after that. I'm sure most of you won't, but we'll be back. Meeting.
Motion to adjourn the commission meeting, Mr. Chair.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're now adjourned. See you in 40 minutes.
Remaking that